So I finally got around to playing God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, the free DLC that was added right before Christmas of last year. And safe to say that this DLC in particular is probably the best DLC I've ever played. The fact that it's free for what we get is mind boggling. Now, it needs to be said that if you haven't played Ragnarok, there will be spoilers in this review, since this DLC takes place after the events of the base game, and it is encouraged that you play the base game before jumping into this DLC. Now, the DLC for itself is a roguelike DLC. The best way I can describe it is think of Hades, but in God of War formula. So essentially, you play as Kratos. The story does take place after the events of Ragnarok, and it continues Kratos' story. So this is something that you definitely want to play. But much like Hades, in order to roll the credits and get the ending, you must beat the final boss multiple times to get the true ending. Now, that being said, as you progress through your journey of Valhalla, you will sit there and you will fight waves of different enemies. You'll open different paths. Everything is random, much in the same way a roguelike is. You start your path, you pick the path of the weapon of your choice, and then you go around and you go through it like you would. You will earn upgrades throughout your path that are only good for that run, and then you also earn a permanent currency, a currency that will then be used to purchase permanent upgrades, such as increasing your health bar, increasing your rage bar, increasing your overall stats, etc. All of these permanent upgrades will allow you to proceed through the campaign of it while carrying stuff over. Now, unlike other roguelikes, the one thing at least with God of War is the game does have multiple difficulty settings. So you can play the game as easy or as hard as you like, and you can adjust it without penalty. Me personally, I played the DLC on the standard default normal difficulty. It took me about 6 hours to complete. I died a total of one time, and that was on my first run, as I had to get reacclimated to the controls, as it's been a while since I played the game. But aside from that, it dives right in. Now, what makes Valhalla great is that it takes everything from Ragnarok and just continues it. So you have great characters, great voice acting and performances by the actors, great visuals, great musical score, and of course, fantastic combat, something that God of War has been known for. And because these things already existed in the base game, and you're just expanding on it, it was an easy transition for Valhalla. So much so that when you play the game, it just feels right. There were abilities and techniques and skills that I haven't used in the base game that I used in Valhalla due to the challenge system. Because one of the things that I really liked about Valhalla was the fact that every single run you do, you're earning permanent currency to unlock permanent upgrades. Whether that's just through roaming the world and killing enemies or completing one of the many challenges the game puts in front of you. And a lot of these challenges will sit there and tell you, hey, you got to use X shield, or you have to use X technique, and you have to use all of them, and the next thing you know, oh look, boom, there's a completion, here's some rewards. So every single run, you're earning something. The progression in Valhalla is absolutely fantastic. You never feel like you went through a run, whether it was successful or not, and feel like, well, I didn't get any stronger. No, you will pretty much get stronger every single time, unless you're playing the game on the hardest difficulty and you're just having a hard time. If you play on a difficulty that is to your skill level, you will always progress and always get stronger for the next run. As for the story itself, as I said, without spoiling anything, this story takes place after the events of Ragnarok. Kratos himself was invited by a mysterious unknown person to Valhalla and to go through its challenges. The story does come full circle for Kratos, and one of the best things that they did was throw in the abundance of Easter eggs and references to the original trilogy for OG fans. Fans such as myself who've played every single God of War, I loved all the Easter eggs that came in. I loved all the references. I loved everything that they threw in it. The fact that this package is free is mind-boggling. Sony could have easily charged $20 for this, and it would have been worth every penny. The fact that it's free means that anyone who owns God of War Ragnarok should play this DLC. There is literally no reason to not play it. It's absolutely free so long as you own the game. You cannot purchase Valhalla separately. You must own Ragnarok in order to play Valhalla. So if you didn't know that, you do now. But overall, this is an example of what Sony can do when they let their teams be creative. The fact that it is absolutely free, it blows my mind. 6 hours of content, and to be fair, that's 6 hours for me to roll the credits. There were still many upgrades and many other challenges left for me to do even after I rolled the credits. So it is the value proposition of this DLC. It can't be matched. You can't complain. If you own Ragnarok, this is a must play. Everything about Valhalla is top tier. It was polished. It was bug free. It was outstanding across the board on any single metric you can look at it. This is a definite must play for me. I'm personally giving God of War Valhalla a 10 out of 10. It is a must play for any God of War fan. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.